Welcome to part 7 of our Dying Light 2 Stay Human Developer Tools guide. In this video, we'll prepare a set of prefabs and spawners that are necessary to create our first quest. Before we start, we need to plan our objectives. I was thinking we could create one where first the player needs to go to a specific location, then he'll need to kill a group of enemies, activate the switch to explode a cage door, and finally pick up an item locked in the cage. So, let's get to it. As you can see, I have prepared some base terrain with a bandit camp. I need to open a level or a prefab where I can add all my quest prefabs. So I'm going to open my created prefab in level and set as target. We have to use sensor boxes to check if the player has reached our designated location for the purposes of tracking progress. Open prefab browser, choose classes, and search Sensor Go To. Choose it and place it in the location of our current objective. Click Escape, select our Go To, go to the Attributes window, and rename it to Go To Start. We can also scale up our sensor box to make it bigger. Pick the Scale option and scale it up by a bit. Choose the Select tool and move it up. By holding Shift, we can duplicate it and use it in more spots to create some kind of road that the player would need to pass. Let's rename all the added sensors. Our last one could contain End in the name, while the middle one could be renamed to Go To Middle. Our prefabs have been placed on the map for the first stage of the quest. Now I need to spawn in enemies. Jump to Prefab Browser, Classes, and write Spawner in the search bar. Choose AI Spawner Number Prefab and place it on the map where we want our enemies to appear. I'll choose a bandit camp as my location. Pick the Select tool, go to Attributes, and rename it to Quest Enemies Renegades. Scale it up to cover the place where we want to spawn the enemies. Choose the Scale option and change the coordinates to local. And now we can scale it up. Let's check if this area covers our bandit camp. Seems like it. Come back to the prefab browser and in the search bar write Spawn Point, and then place it where we would like to have enemies running around. Let's go with 4 spawn points and place them wherever you like within the area. When you're done, press Escape. Select one of them, go to the Attributes window, and rename it to Quest Enemy 1. Select it, use the Ctrl-C combination on your keyboard to copy it, select the second point and rename it to Quest Enemy 2. The third point will be Quest Enemy 3, and the fourth point will be Quest Enemy 4. Go back to the Scene window and choose our AI spawner. Go to Attributes and change the spawner difficulty to Tier 2. Change the preset to Renegade One-Handed, and change the number of spawned AI to 4. We've set up our points. Now we need to parent them to our AI spawner number. Press the plus icon for each point. Click the 3 dots and choose Quest Enemy 1, followed by our second one, then our third one, and finally the fourth one. Enemies should now be able to spawn in where the points have been placed. Let's go back to the prefab browser window and write Human AI in the Classes category. I would like to place one enemy near the top of this tower. Choose Human AI and place him there. Then use our Select tool to go to the Attributes window and change the spawner difficulty to Tier 2 as well. Extend the AI preset. Choose the 3 dots next to the preset name. Write Renegade Bow and select this one. Feel free to rotate and adjust him at any moment. Go back to our Scene window, save and reload our prefab so we can check if our enemies are spawning correctly during the game. Click Play, press Yes. Our spawn points seem to be working as intended. Let's return to the editor. We've added the enemies. Next up, we need to add a tool that will track the enemies killed in our next objective. Open and set our prefab or level as a target. In the prefab browser, search for Clear Area. Choose our prefab and place it on the map. With the Select tool, go to the Attributes window. rename it to Quest Kill Check. Once we've done that, the game should be able to keep track of our killed enemies' progress. Let's just do one more crucial step. Extend General and set the area height to 15, so the kill check can also account for potential enemies on the tower. Now we must scale kill check in a way that it will cover our quest area. Choose the scale option once again, change coordinates to local, and scale it up. Let's check if this clear area covers our entire location, including our tower. Alright, our prefabs and spawners for the second stage of the quest are ready. Now we need to account for the switch and exploding cage in the third part of our objective. Open the prefab browser, look for switch, and then pick the switch prefab. Place it on the map. Choose the select tool, go to attributes, and rename it to Quest Switch. Click the three dots for style, write generator, and pick SA starting generator. Click OK. Move our generator to the location of our choice. Now for the second asset. Go back to the search bar in the prefab browser, switch to single prefabs, but this time look up cage door. Place it on the map, and press escape. Now I need to attach these doors to our cage. We can even zoom out a little. Select our cage, click on the attributes window, copy its matrix, then select our cage door, and paste it. As we can see, our door is in need of readjustment. Zoom in a little and reposition it. That looks more like it. The cage has been sealed. Name it Quest Cage Off. Now, duplicate and place it where it should be after the explosion. Rename that Quest Cage On. Now we need to add in our explosion FX. In the prefab browser window, choose FX and write Electric Box Explosion in the search bar. Choose it and place it near the bottom of the cage door. Change to the Select tool, go to the Attributes window, rename it to Quest Switch FX. Select our switch in the Scene window, go to Attributes, extend the switch dropdown, scroll down a bit and click the plus icon 2 times for controlled objects, and once for controlled objects inverted. We are going to designate 2 objects to our cage in controlled objects. In other words, that will be our FX after we use the switch, and this door after we use the switch. So let's click the 3 dots next to our first object, write On, and choose Quest Cage On. Then do the same for the second empty slot, but this time type the name of our second object, so Quest Switch FX. For our inverted object, we will focus on how the cage will look before we make the switch. Click the 3 dots and write Cage to find our Quest Cage Off. Now let's extend the trigger state and make sure that it's set to Off. This will keep the cage in its initial state so that it will be closed until the player uses the switch to open it. Lastly, we need to add an item that the player needs to pick up for our final objective. Open the prefab browser window, choose the Classes category, and look for Item Spawner. Select it and place it somewhere on our map, like maybe inside the cage. Choose the Select tool, go to Attributes, and rename it to Quest Item. Extend Item Spawner, click the 3 dots for ID, and for the purposes of this video, let's choose Book 16. It's going to be the quest item our player will need to retrieve. Before we finish, we know that this place is an area where the player is going to fight. We can help him by adding some combat helpers. In the prefab browser, write Spike Trap. Remember that the right results in this case will only appear if you choose the Classes category. Take that Spike Trap prefab and place it on the map. Go for the Select tool, and now you can place it on these boxes. Move or rotate it so that it fits the scenery. We can hide helpers to better see how it will look. Nothing to gripe about, so let's bring it back. Next, search tank explosive to find it. Place them wherever you want. Once you're done, press Escape. Open the scene window, save and reload our prefab. Next up, click on Validate and Build. Choose Build, and only check off Build under Nav Mesh. That way it's going to calculate the nav mesh before the other objects on our map. Let's click OK. Build succeeded. Click the play icon, save your progress. As you can see, our enemies have spawned. You can fight with them, combat helpers work, the switch works too, and we can pick up the book. That's all for Part 7. In the next video, we'll explain how to create objectives and set up your quest. Thanks for watching.